They do now make a GFCI outlet with a USB and a USB-C built into it. So those are right now new on the market. So if you've got a kitchen counter that you plug your phone or laptop or something to charge, they do now make GFCI outlets with USB in it and USB-C.
This is the Check-A Pro Radio Show. Check-A Pro Joe has assembled a team of pre-qualified home service contractors to bring you the latest in services, products, and techniques. Now, here's your host, the man with a hard hat and tool belt, Check-A Pro Joe.
I want to talk electrical here, and I want to talk about electrical safety. This is very important. Many of us have heard of a GFCI circuit or outlet, but you don't know what it is. Well, I've asked an expert in the electrical field to join me. His name is Gareth Kelly from Dream Team Air Conditioning, Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical. Hey, Gareth, how are you?
I'm doing good, Joe. Thanks for having me on the show today.
Yeah, thank you for being here. So a GFCI, that's obviously abbreviated. Why don't you tell us what it is?
No problem, Joe. So a GFCI stands for a ground fault circuit interrupter. And what that means is it turns the electric off till the circuit or to the appliance or anything that you have plugged into that if it is an outlet. We sometimes in the electrical field refer to them as shock-proof outlets. So it prevents an electric shock. So if it finds an imbalance in the circuit from live to ground or neutral to ground, it will trip that ground fault circuit breaker or outlet. They're really important to have throughout your home. Ground fault circuit breakers have been around since the early 80s. They're required pretty much most of the areas of your home. So throughout your kitchen, anywhere within 6 feet of water, all your bathrooms, your lower levels, beside your HVAC equipment, so the guy's safe that's working on your HVAC equipment. They're also required in your garage, and they're required in unfinished areas of your house, make down the basement. Maybe you have a sump pump or something like that, but still requires a GFCI outlet. Especially outdoors, GFCI outlets are required in all of your receptacles outdoors.
They're really handy and they're very safe to have, and you need them by code in certain areas, like Gareth said, including outside your laundry room, the basement, like he said, garage. I'll tell you, though, what gets tricky, everybody. Sometimes there'll be an outlet in your garage or your bathroom or a closet that doesn't work anymore. So you go over to the panel and you're like, well, I switched everything back and it still doesn't go on. Well, these are put in series quite often, and there might just be one outlet that needs to be reset. Isn't that true?
Yeah, that's true. A lot of times when homes were wired and the builders, in an effort to save money, they would put the GFCI receptacle at the very start of the circuit, so they wouldn't have them on each one that requires it. Sometimes when the outside outlet stop working, there is a GFCI trip somewhere, or in the garage, the outlet stop working. Sometimes that outlet most likely is located beside the panel. It depends on whoever wired at that time. It could be in the bathroom. It could be behind a chair or piece of furniture. So sometimes, locating exactly where that GFCI tripped can be challenging because you have to search every wall and every area, every room sometimes to find it.
And these ground fault circuit interrupter outlets are not a normal outlet. And over time, they may need to be replaced. Why is that?
A lot of the outlets now have a self-test function on them. It's like anything, the parts inside it wear out. Nothing's built to last forever. So there is a recommended time that they should be replaced. Some of the newer GFCI outlets have a little light on it, and it tells you when it's tripped. So it lights up, there's a little LED in the bottom corner, and it tells you that this outlet is tripped, and then you can set the reset button on it. One other thing I wanted to let you know too is for consumers out there, they do now make a GFCI outlet with a USB and a USB-C built into it. So those are right now new on the market. So if you've got a kitchen counter that you plug your phone or laptop or something to charge, they do now make GFCI outlets with USB in it and USB-C. It could save you some space on your countertop, or we can put them somewhere else so you can plug your phone in to charge.
That's really handy now, these outlets that have these USB charging ports or low voltage USB coming out, which is extremely handy for all the new devices today. Gareth, thank you so much for your insight on the GFCI. Much appreciated. Gareth Kelly is his name. Dream Team Air Conditioning, Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical is his company. All of his contact information is located in the description of this podcast. Thanks, Gareth.
You're welcome, Joe. Have a great day.
Check-A-Pro is your local source for pre-qualified contractors. Stay tuned for more of the Check-A-Pro Radio Show.